November is Family Caregiver Month. It's that way every week until the end of November. And I'm here to celebrate with you, to help you understand caregiving just a little bit better. So hang with me as we ask some more questions, and hopefully I'll have some answers for you on this episode of Chatting It Up with CJ. So let's jump into it. It's still November, it's still Family Caregiver Month, and I'm here to answer some questions that were proposed to me. So hopefully I'll have some decent answers for you. A lot of times when we're caring for our loved ones, we're wondering what we could do with them. Meaning, sometimes you want to keep their brains active, you want to keep them going, you want them to be engaged with living while they're trying to figure out, while you are trying to sort out their living situation. A lot of things change with them, the way they think, the way they behave, what they decide to do. With my mom, I tended to lean towards what my mom enjoyed doing. She used to be an avid artist. She would draw sketches and things like that. And I would say, hey, Mom, here's a pad of paper. Would you like to sketch something? And it was weird because she didn't want to do that. Then it got to the point of, well, if you don't really want to do that, what can you do? And what is it that you desire to do? And sometimes she just wanted to just sit there almost out of pure laziness and just watch TV. And I'm like, well, Mom, what would you like to help me with? It wasn't that I needed the help, definitely not from her, but I wanted her to be engaged with me, engaged with just living, because let's face it, if you and I sat in front of a TV all the time, didn't really do things that you knew weren't really her thing to do. She loved gardening. She didn't even want to go out and do gardening. I said, Mom, I'm doing some laundry. Could you help me fold some stuff? She said she'd always be willing. Yeah, I'll help you. And she would take her time. It was nothing that I needed done ASAP. So I would give her like hand towels and washcloths and things like that to help out folding, so that, she would feel like she's productive. She would feel good because she was helping me. And I found out too, she loved gardening, she loved plants, but she didn't want to do those things. So I ended up just sitting down and watching TV with her and striking up conversations, things to keep her mind active, keep her engaged in life. A lot of times I would ask her, hey, I think I might make this dish, and she was a really good cook, but she hated to cook. I had mentioned that in other videos, but I'm kind of like trying to figure out, hey, Mom, could you share with me how, to cook this and that? And honestly, I probably already knew how to make it. It's just I wanted to include her. I wanted her to feel needed. I wanted to bring what my life was all about and include her in it. So she didn't feel like, well, I'm just in the back of the house. I'm in the room and, well, Carolyn's continuing on. I didn't want her to feel forgotten. And I know she seemed really independent, and to the point that I didn't need to have that attention type attitude, but I don't know one human being that doesn't want to be included, right? Everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to be validated. Everybody wants to be needed to some degree. Even if they're dealing with dementia, they know something's not right, at least with my mom. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in this, but I am an expert in is my experience of taking care of my mom, my experience of taking care of my dad. I know what it's like to be a caregiver to those two individuals. And if I could share a little bit of what I went through, it may help somebody. Some of the tips that I may share may not help everyone because everyone's situation will always be different. And I think that's something that we learn in caregiving, is that it's all unique and it's all specific to individuals. The one thing that is unison, there is one thing, is that We all realize that we're all in different levels, but we're all going down. Nobody gets better from this. Not one loved one gets better and bounces back to where they used to be. That is something that all caregivers have in common. I think that's why it's so difficult for all of us to go out and ask for help, because you can't wrap your head around what's really going on. But I asked some of my other fellow caregivers what they did with their loved ones. And a lot of times they said, I would ask my loved one if they were mobile, if they were able to, to fold dish towels after their wash, maybe take laundry, put them from the laundry washer into the dryer, go in the backyard, pick up pine cones or sticks, or gather things together if they were that type of person that liked to do outdoor stuff, collect things, maybe rake leaves. If I was cooking, I would ask my mom not only just recipes and stuff like that. Other caregivers were telling me that if they had their loved one with them in the kitchen, they would say, could you peel potatoes? Could you peel some carrots? Things that they could do that wouldn't be like pressed for time, not involving knives, but when you peel potatoes and carrots, I mean, that's something that makes them feel useful. Maybe to sweep the outdoor patio, something in those regards. A lot of times, some loved ones said that their loved one was good at sorting, and so they would sort out drawers in the kitchen, maybe the utensils or something like that. They would have some sort of chore that would make them feel useful. Sometimes it would take them forever to do it, but that's okay. It's something to keep them active. A lot of times, if they like to be creative, they could make something, or a lot of times some of the caregivers would say they would buy or create fidget blankets because their loved one was very fidgety and needed to always be touching something or feeling something. So they would have fidget blankets. They would do or have puzzles like jigsaw puzzles, or a type of word search games. Or maybe maybe there was a loved one that was into drafting or had done some sort of schematic planning. You give them a pack of highlighter pens and have them do word search puzzles, or just have them highlight certain things, things that they enjoy doing, something. And that's part of the issue, is as a caregiver, you have to figure out what their new world is all about. You have to figure out what is it that your loved one is going to enjoy, something that's going to keep them engaged. It is a difficult thing because you are entering into a world that's new to them as well. Maybe they don't know how to express it to you, but it's something. A lot of times people are saying that, my way of finding a type of resolve is to double dose it. Basically, you would get respite time away, time for yourself for maybe a few hours, and you bring your loved one to a senior daycare center. And basically, it's adult daycare. It may cost a few dollars, but there's activities for your loved one, a place for you to take your loved one where they can stay active and engage and socialize with other people for a few hours. Not only are they engaged, but you are engaged too by doing something for yourself. It's your me time. Trust me, it sounds selfish, but I can't emphasize how important me time really is. Because when you don't have that outlet for yourself, you'll start to feel tense. You'll start to feel like I need to get out. The stress level starts building up and it boils up inside you. I know for myself, if I didn't take care of myself, I would have moments of lashing out, or I would get angry just like that. Or I'd be frustrated just like that. My fuse was always short when I knew that I needed to have time off. And you don't want to get to the point where your fuse just ignites something, because that does happen. And then you feel this overwhelming amount of guilt on top of it. You don't want to do that. I don't know anybody that's going to feel good about that. And it's happened to every one of us. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm a horrible person. I should never have let it get that far. But you know what? It happens. It happens. But that's also why we always say it's time to go get help. Have somebody come in and help you. Lessen the load. If you don't have family members to help you out, it's okay. You find somebody. How do you find somebody? Well, let's go to the next part, because that was another question. And it's a very common and popular question. Basically, what you do is you can contact a place called care.com, and you can go online and they'll help you find and assess what your needs are. They'll point you in the right direction of where you need to find the help. Maybe it's temporary help. Sometimes the temporary help that comes in requires a 4-hour minimum. Sometimes their fees are anywhere from $35 to $60 an hour. But you're making an investment for yourself. That's how you have to look at it. You are investing in yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, then you can be your best self for your loved one. Then you can carry out what you need to do as a caregiver in a better state of mind, in a healthier mode. A lot of times too is, and I've talked about this in the past, is about Medicare's brand new program called the GUIDE program, GUIDE. GUIDE program is an annual allowance of $2,500 for those that qualify a year, which can be used for caregiving. You can hire somebody if you contact care.com, or if you find someone that you know that you want to hire. That $2,500 is allotted to you for caregiving, for respite care, for adult daycare. It's something new within Medicare. I do know for a fact that people that have tried to sign up for the GUIDE program to collect this $2,500. Now, this is based on the state of California. It should be nationwide, but I'm solely focusing on California. That people that were with Medicare and that had Medicare Advantage, I believe that's the HMO program, they did not qualify for it. Something to check in and find out if you do qualify for it. Because if you do, that's $2,500 for you that you get once a year for caregiving. It's a start. Medicare never did that before. So that's something to consider. Another thing too is when you go to a caregiving agency, they want you to sign up. And, if you find a place, great. If you don't like the person that has been assigned to you, it's really easy. You should be easier to switch out people if you need to, so that there's a better fit between you and your loved one and that caregiver. You should never feel upset about that. You're hiring them, and you want it to be a good fit, because you don't want to create more of a stress or tension within your own household. So these are just a few things that have come across and seem to be quite popular in the asking, because let's face it, you in for you and have your alone time, your me time, and make it productive. You can even do that by saying, I need somebody to sit with my loved one for just an hour or two while I go grocery shopping. Because believe it or not, You find respite for yourself when you're around people, even in a grocery store. I'll be the first to admit it. That's exactly what I did. As I found a lot of my refuge in the grocery store. And flat out of loneliness, I found I was a little bit more kinder and more conversational with total strangers. And the amazing thing about it was, kind of got the impression that they were going through the same thing because they were equally chatty back with me. I think people find each other where they're at. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, it's a hard road. I just don't want you to feel like you're alone. There are answers. And I'll see you on the next episode of Chatting It Up. And we'll come up with some more as we're thinking closer to Thanksgiving and the things that we're thankful for. Right? Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Remember, be good to yourself and always stay blessed. I'm praying for you. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching. And please remember to hit the subscribe button. We are trying to grow our channel and reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, for every new subscriber, these two nutheads right here, they're going to get a treat, so we will all be happy. Thanks for watching.